Hello. You're watching Much Ado About Something today, and I'm Donna. Well, I have had a whole can of real life hit me this week. It's just been a series of unbelievable things. Well, believable, but just a lot happening in the course of 1 week. Our internet went out on Tuesday, complete loss of internet. We did have some storms, so I thought maybe, well, lightning has ran in on the cable, and we're having problems. Well, I called and called, and well, I tried to fix it myself at first. I unplugged things and reset things, and well, that didn't work. And by the time I called and scheduled, it was 4 days out. Uh, and we'd been out of internet for 4 days by the time we had the technicians scheduled. Well, they came yesterday. Great service. The young guy that helped us, he said our modem was just old. After this length of time, they just sometimes burn out. And so that modem had burned out. So that was an easy fix. And he got that fixed yesterday. So if you're seeing this, I got the internet fixed. Another problem we've been having is our sink has been stopped up. We have had a terrible time trying to get the sink unstopped. And Donald is working on it today. He is going through the lines trying to get everything worked on today. So I can't do anything here at my sink. If you know how small my kitchen is and you know what goes on here, my sink is like a major spot of activity. I mean, and here it is. I wanted to do the Every Bit Counts challenge, but I'm not able to do that. I've got some dirty dishes. I got to take this pot outside to wash it because it won't fit in the bathroom sink for me to wash it. And I'm in here washing dishes in the bathroom sink to get caught up. But of course, with all this going on, there's no way I can do prep and canning. I have cucumbers to put up, pickles to make. I've got tomatoes that I've got to put up, which I can freeze the tomatoes. That's no big deal. And I've got squash. I wanted to make squash relish and some things. I've got a lot that needs to be put up. But with my sink being down, there's no way I can get all of this stuff going and keep everything washed up and cleaned up like I normally do. I thought about maybe going outside and canning, but that's not something I'd be able to do by myself. Maybe if Donald has a chance that he can help me, but I doubt he'll have a chance because he's working on getting the sink fixed. So it's just been a lot of things. It's just been a lot of things going on this week. It's just been one of those real life, real living moments. Isn't it? I mean, a lot of people have things like this to deal with all the time. And when you're a homeowner, you don't have a maintenance. You can't call maintenance. And if you do call a plumber, then it's going to be expensive. It's going to be expensive. And of course, Donald's been in maintenance over 18 years, so he knows how to fix these things. It's just a matter of having the time and the right tools, the right equipment to fix it. He hasn't done maintenance in a while, and he got rid of a lot of his stuff, a lot of his equipment and tools that he used in that field because, we just don't have enough place to store a lot of things like that. We don't have a garage. We have the one outbuilding that's in the backyard for the lawnmower and things, weed eaters and such like that, but we just didn't have storage for a lot of equipment, to do maintenance. We've been in this house 39 years. It was 39 years this month, actually. And over the course of us being here those 39 years, we've only had this kitchen sink problem. It seems like it happens every 10 years or so. Now, I never put grease down my sink. I always put that in a different container and either reuse that somehow or throw it in the trash can. I never put grease down the sink. I always use strainers that catch anything from going down the drain. But the problem that we have is it's some kind of sludge. It's some kind of black sludge that builds up in these pipes it seems like about every 10 years or so. And that's what we're dealing with. That's what he's cleaning out. And it seems like no amount of chemical that you put in there dissolves it. It's he has to get somebody to like run a snake. It's called a snake. It's this tool, a long tool that is coiled up, and you unwind it and run it down your drain and physically break up this sludge. It's just black sludge. I don't even know where it comes from. I don't know what causes it, because I compost most all of my scraps. I don't put anything down the drain, so I'm not even sure what this sludge is. Donald said it just comes from the water and from just general use of the pipes here in the area where we're at. So that's what he's dealing with today. That's what's going on in our house. There's not a lot that I can show you or share with you other than me just working around these issues, working around these problems of not having this kitchen sink and me not being able to preserve like I normally do. Even if I fix the tomatoes, even if I get them ready for freezing, I still have to blanch those tomatoes, and I peel the skin off of them and core them and then put them in a freezer container. So I'll still have to use the stove and mess up quite a bit of equipment, that I'm not able to wash right now. So I don't know if I'm going to try to do that outside or what I'm going to do about that. I've just hit some roadblocks, some stumbling blocks here. And that's how things have been for me this week, and the reason I hadn't posted as many videos as I normally do. It's just been one of those things. But we'll do the best we can today, and I wanted to touch base with you. I wanted to do a video and just share with you, even hard times, even things happening like this, or stumbling blocks. I mean, you can still overcome them in different ways. So I'm going to go ahead and wash these dishes here in the bathroom sink and just show you around and do a few things with you today. I'm glad you're at my channel. I'm always glad to have you watch, and I do ask that you please subscribe, and if this kind of thing interests you, if everyday life, if lifestyle, budget-friendly home and garden, if that interests you, then I welcome you to subscribe and to join our channel here. I thank you to all the ones that have joined, and we'll get started with our day. Now, of course, my bathroom is not big enough for a drain, and this little sink is not big enough for a dishpan to sit in here, so I'm just going to have to run the water and wash up under here, and then I'm going to put all the clean dishes after they're washed. I'm going to put them in this bowl right here and then take them over and dry them. Take them to the kitchen and dry them and put them up, put them back where they, in the place where they go. Now, this is no strange thing to me. I grew up in a house without hot water, and I grew up without a dishwasher or anything like that, so I have these skills. It's just when I grew up in an old farmhouse that had a lot of room, and this house is a modern meaning not a 200-year-old farmhouse, but just a little modern cookie cutter development, home in a development. So it's just in the city, so it's a little bit different. You can't just go out there and build a fire and stuff. You can certainly use a grill, a gas grill or something like that, but it's not quite the same as it is living in the mountains or in the country and being in a big farmhouse with lots of land. There's just freedom to do more than you would do in a development. And we have a disabled member in our family, so she loves to watch her certain programs, and she loves to watch those programs over and over. So with the internet down for a few days, we just used the old backup of the DVD player and then DVDs, and that's how we got by with that, with our little granddaughter who has autism and Down syndrome, and she was able to watch the favorite movies that we have of hers that's on DVD. And of course, we were not able to do anything that required being online for. I thought about doing a video, recording a video, and then going to McDonald's and uploading it for you. But then I wasn't sure how long that would take. And I didn't want the kids just sitting hanging around McDonald's, you know, for a long time. My videos used to upload quickly, and now sometimes it's taken a long time to get them to upload. And I'm not sure why that is, but because I wasn't certain at how long it was going to take me to upload a video, I didn't do that. Luckily, our state and our town has one of the best reputations for clean drinking water. It has an excellent quality of drinking water that comes from our reservoirs and, you know, through our system. Of course, they do chemically treat it, and so there are chemicals in this water, and that's something we have to deal with. But all in all, we have a really good water quality here. Now, growing up, we would just drink out of a spring. Wouldn't think anything about it. In fact, most of the houses that we grew up in, before we settled in the one farmhouse that we lived in for 13 years before I moved out, they had springs, and the water was piped down to the house. So, you know, it was just fresh water out of the streams. There was no chemicals or anything added in any of the water that I grew up with. And most of the people that I know now have water. They have wells. They have fresh water coming from the ground from wells. But we're on city water. That's what we have here. We pay for it by the gallon. But it is rated a high quality drinking water, and it's one of the best clean waters that they have available. Well, I've got this bowl that I use for a dishpan. I've got all of these dishes washed. I got them in this bowl. I'm going to take them in the kitchen and dry them and put those things where they go. Okay, we're going to take a minute and look. Donald's got a splinter or something in his heel. Right. So we're going to take a minute and see what we can find. See right here. And we're going to have to get this out and help him do first aid real quick, and then we'll get back to the dishes. Okay, so Donald's got his shoes on. We got his splinter out of his foot.
Yeah. I couldn't see it.
Yeah, he could feel it, but he couldn't see it. Madeline, can you say good morning?
I'm on it.
Good morning, sweetheart. Now I'll get these all dried and get them where they go, but I'm going to run outside. I'm going to take this outside and wash this outside. We'll take this on outside and see if we can't get it washed up out there. Ellie's decided she wants to help me carry this outside. It's pretty heavy. I've got all this stuff out here. It's pulled out from under the sink because Donald's working under here, trying to get this clog cleaned up. So this small kitchen is really discombobulated when something happens to the sink. So we're just going to go out here and clean these outside. Right here.
Oh.
Yeah, just squeeze some of that in for me.
Oh, sorry. Ooh, it's purple.
That's probably enough. You can just set it down right there. Ellie, gotta come around and get it. My arm is messed up. I can't hold it. We've had it's not as easy out here to do this as you would think. Ellie tried to adjust the camera and messed up the. Now I've got to fix my tripod so that it'll hold the camera so we can show you what we're doing out here. Okay, we got the tripod fixed, so now we're just going to wash these dishes outside. This Le Creuset cast iron with enamel over it pan is really heavy. You know, I have impingement syndrome, so I haven't been able to carry this thing, and Ellie is doing the best she can with that heavy pot to help me. But we've got the water and the soap running there, so we're going to wash these dishes, and then we'll take all of this back in and dry it and put it where it goes. I had to scrub that pot a little bit. Now, I absolutely love this big Le Creuset pot. I love it to cook soup, stews, and different things in. But the thing about it is it's really heavy. Ellie, can you come and help me with this pot?
Yes.
Maddie, go back in. Right here it is.
Oh.
I'm going to help her. Go back. Don't drop it. It's very heavy. Maddie, go back up. Go back up, Maddie. I know. I'm coming in. Maddie, I'm coming in, okay? You want to go in the backyard and get on your hammock? You want to go swing? Well, okay. I've got all of these. I'm going to go ahead and dry this stuff and get it put back where it goes. This just goes to show we take a lot for granted. Even our basic sinks and kitchens, and you know, you might not think you have anything fancy, but in general it's all adequate. It's all sufficient to get done what you need to get done on a daily basis. And when something is torn up and you're not able to use it and you have to do a different route, then you see how valuable everything you have is. So we take a lot for granted. Our sinks, the things that we use every day, we take that stuff for granted. We'll put this, I've got this Le Creuset pot dried really good here, and the lid washed and dried. I like to put this towel over it like this. It helps protect the rim around that Le Creuset pot, because sometimes that's where the enamel will start flaking off, right here around the rim. I always take a little bit of Vaseline, that is for exclusive use, or petroleum jelly. I put it in the cabinet here. It's exclusively for kitchen use, and you put a little bit around this cast iron rim. When you use your cast iron enamel pot, it's going to look like this in the bottom. I could use bleach to get that stain out. It's clean, it's not dirty, it's stained from use, but I'm not going to do that because the bleach breaks down the enamel and it will make my pot not last. This pot is meant to last for a lifetime with the proper care. So I just put a little bit of petroleum jelly around this cast iron ridge that is exposed right here, because if you don't do that, this will rust if you give it time before you use it. And then I just put one of the dishcloths that I made. I just put it over the pot. I wash and dry the lid good. And then I put the petroleum jelly over the cast iron part on the lid. This will preserve your pot and make it look nicer and keep it in good condition so that when you're ready to use it, you're able to use that. Puts a coating on it, keeps it from rusting. And now that that's done, that pot's ready for storage until the next time I need it. Now I'm going to have to run outside before I can dry these dishes and help with the kids. They're getting in the pool and they need help, and Donald's busy trying to unstop the clog, so I've got to stop this task and run and put out a little fire. Well, it's quite a bit of time later in the day today. We got the sink fixed. $438 later. We had to call a plumber to unstop our kitchen sink. So, there it is. The plumber brought one of the big coiled snakes, and he had to plunge it in there 4 times to get whatever was stuck in there out. We're still not sure even what it was. But he did give us some advice. There is a 2-month warranty, so if anything stops up in the next 2 months, he'll be back to undo it should that happen. And he gave us some advice to keep that from happening again. It's just sludge and stuff that builds up. Even though we use a screen, I'll show you the screen we always put in the sinks. But I wanted to show you 41. I'm going to point out this number 41 because me and Donald's anniversary is this month, and we've been married 41 years. So we're extremely excited about that, but we hate that we had to spend our anniversary money on a plumber. That's just real life, isn't it? But I'll show you some of the things I use in the kitchen sink. So I always use these screens. You see how small these holes are? Now I have this one too that's over here, and the holes in it's a little bigger. But I usually never rinse anything out unless it's through this. I haven't got this sink cleaned up where they were working in here. I've still got a lot to do today. But I was going to show you that I always use this little mesh screen in my sink. So I never let any kind of particles or big things go down in here. And this is the kind of stuff that was coming up. Our bathtub, bathroom sinks, and all that was fine. So this is not any kind of sewage. It's just coming from the actual pipes. It's just evidently when you use pipes over a series of time, this is what you have. Here around in our area, you have this kind of a buildup. And so it ended up costing $438 to get our sink unstopped. But we've been in this house for 39 years. And it's about every 10 years that this has happened. The first 2 times, Donald cleaned it out himself. He had an auger, and he was able to do that himself. He did try to do it himself this time, but it must have just been so thick in there that it didn't get through. So he had to end up calling a plumber. So we had the plumber today, got this all done. Now I have a ton of work sitting here for me. I've got to get this kitchen cleaned, the sink and all this stuff. I've got to get all the chemicals and things that were under the sink put back under there. And then I've got to get started with my day. Well, I'm sorry this wasn't the video I intended to make for you. I'm sorry that I didn't have a lot of tips for you for preserving food. I wanted to share that with you today. But real life happens, and I've had real life all week, and there's been things that's had to be repaired and things that's had to be done. And so this is how real life turned out today. I'm glad you joined me today. Like always, until next time.
You didn't look.
You gotta hold up 4.
What am I looking at?
The camera.
Honey, turn around. You can put the camera where it turns to us, you know?
That's not the best camera. Can't do that. Good Lord, man. This is not the best camera. I never use the selfie camera. You gotta turn it around.
Oh, it's hard to.
You can't see. I know. You just
I
gotta.
don't know what picture. Oh, video.
Yeah. Here, you gotta hold up 41.
I thought we was going to take a
41
picture.
years. Happy anniversary. Sorry about the plumbing.
I thought it was a picture. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Cable out and plumbing.
I just have one question for you.
What's that?
If you had to make the decision again, would you still marry me 41 years down the line?
Yeah.
Oh.
I go through it all again.
Well, that's
A
sweet.
few little adjustments, but mostly all again.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today. And like always, until next time.